Here we're looking at a company and we want to see how the equity accounts change. First situation is if they declare a 2-for-1 stock split. So how many shares will be outstanding when that stock split happens, and then what will be the new par value per share. So when we do a stock split, we change the number of shares outstanding and we change the par value. And the par value change is reflected in the ratio of the stock split. So first, let's look at the number of shares outstanding. If we do a 2-for-1 stock split, we are taking every one outstanding share of stock and turning it into 2. So the new number of shares outstanding are our common stock divided by the par value to tell us how many shares are outstanding right now, times 2 divided by 1. And I know that we could just say 45,000 times 2 or 90,000. It's good practice to get into using the above table to input your formulas, because when you get into more complicated Excel spreadsheets, the use of formulas helps you do other things. We can also do, so what happens if it's a 3-for-1 stock split or a 3-for-2 stock split? And we can see how those changes happen because we used the formulas. I'm going to reset it back to the 2-for-1. So we're going to have 90,000 shares outstanding after this stock split. The accounts remain unchanged for a stock split, but the par value has to change because our common stock account total is going to be 45,000, but we now have 90,000 shares outstanding. So the par value is changed by the split. And again, we're not just going to say divided by 2 or change by 2. We're going to actually do that it's by the split. So 1 divided by 2. Because again, if we wanted to play for, well, what if that was a 3-to-1 split? And how would that change? Under situation B, we have a reverse stock split. In a reverse stock split, we instead take 5, or however we decide to do the reverse. So we are reducing the number of shares outstanding by a 5th. So very similar formulas, that we want to take the value of our common stock account divided by par times the 1 divided by 5. So now we're going to have 9,000 shares outstanding instead of 45,000 shares. And our par value is going to increase by the same ratio as our reverse split. So we take our par value times the number of shares we reduce divided by the resulting shares. So now our par value is $5 per share. The total value in our common stock account doesn't change, just the par value changes for a stock split. In this example, we are looking at the number of shares we have outstanding. We have a market value based balance sheet. We are declaring a $1.15 dividend. The stock goes ex-dividend tomorrow. So what is the stock selling for today, and what will it sell for tomorrow? So we know that the market value of stock, or our market equity, is the value times our share price. So in order to get what our current share price is, we can take our equity value divided by the number of shares that we have outstanding. So that tells us that our current price today is $31.40. The second question is, if tomorrow is the ex-dividend date, what will our stock price sell for tomorrow? Well, we know from the lecture and the textbook reading that the price on the ex-dividend date usually drops by the amount of the dividend. So our price is going to adjust by the amount of the dividend. And that is because on the anyone who buys the stock on the ex-dividend date will not receive the dividend. So how will our accounts change? Well, our equity account and our cash accounts are going to decline. We pay out our dividend in cash and we use equity to pay that out. So if we have 19,000 shares outstanding and we're paying $1.15 a share, we take those times each other to see how much we're going to pay out. So our cash is going to be reduced by $21,850. Our fixed assets are unchanged, and our equity is going to be reduced by $21,850. So that is from a cash dividend. Now we're going to look at the same exact company, but we're going to repurchase stock instead of doing a dividend. So now we have the repurchase of 21,850 and we had 19,000 shares outstanding. So repurchasing our shares is going to reduce our equity account by the amount of the repurchase. How many shares are we going to buy? Well, we are going to take the 21,850 divided by the result of our equity divided by the number of shares. That's how much our price is per share and tells us how many shares we can buy with $21,850. So now the number of shares we're going to have outstanding were originally 19,000. We bought back 696. So now we have shares outstanding of 18,304. What is our price after the repurchase? When we take our total equity, I need parentheses, total equity minus the reduction of 21,850 divided by the new number of shares outstanding. So I pick the right number for shares outstanding. Oh, that is because, makes sense, I picked the wrong equity cell. There we go for the correct formula. So we get the price after repurchase on stock is $31.40. So this is exactly the same as the cash dividend because whether we hold a share worth, so the $31.40 minus our dividend, and I accidentally got a negative in there. There we go. So the repurchase is the same as a cash dividend because whether or not we hold a share worth $30.25 and $1.15 in cash or a share worth $31.40, So if we participate in the repurchase according to the dividend payout percentage, we are completely unaffected by this repurchase as an investor. And our last example from chapter 14, we have the market value, and we want to know what our ex-dividend price will be. So we have declared a 20% stock dividend. We want to know what the current price is and what our ex-dividend price will be. So our current price, equity divided by the number of shares outstanding. 21,000 shares outstanding. So the current price of our stock is $30.95. We know that on the ex-dividend date that the price will adjust depending on what that dividend payout is. Whether that is in a stock dividend or a cash dividend, it doesn't matter because on the anybody who buys on the ex-dividend date doesn't receive the dividend, so the stock is of less value to them. So we want to know what the new number of shares outstanding is. So we take the current shares outstanding times, we have a 20%, so 1 plus the 20% of our stock dividend gives us new shares outstanding of 25,200. So our new price, or the ex-dividend price, is equity divided by the new shares outstanding. So the price as of the ex-dividend date is $25.79.